What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw 4 TV. So, in last night's game against the Toronto Raptors, the Cleveland Cavaliers suffered a big blow. Um, Jarrett Allen, their all-star caliber center, suffered what was initially thought a quad injury, but upon further inspection, more importantly, he fractured his finger, which will, upon reevaluation, will keep him out indefinitely. This is perhaps a fatal blow to the Cleveland Cavaliers' playoff chances. And by that I mean they'll most likely make the playoffs. But as far as having some sort of Cinderella run, maybe akin to what Atlanta Hawks did last year, the chances of that are now slim to none. Jarrett Allen had been having a great year, over 16 points a game, almost 11 rebounds per game. I think somewhere around 2 blocks per game, 68% field goal percentage. A guy who is great at lobs and uh, putbacks and a lot of the dirty work that's associated with the center position that's unappreciated in today's game. Um, you lose this interior presence, and you combine it with the fact that they already don't have Mark Makinen for the year. They're not going to have Colin Sexton for the year. They're still without the services of Rajon Rondo, who Rajon Rondo gets hurt every fucking year. I mean, it's always something with Rondo. Right now, they don't have Karis LeVert due to a foot injury. When you combine all of that, plus this, I think it's too much, man. I mean, you like this team. They're gritty. You like the fact that they've been able to develop a team that is, very competitive in the Eastern Conference, the stronger conference at this time. They've been able to field a winning team in the post-LeBron era, but I think it's too much. Without Jarrett Allen, I think it's too much. Now, if this team was healthy, if this team had Jarrett Allen and Karis LeVert and Rondo and Colin Sexton and marketing, you know, this team could do something. This team could potentially be good enough. Hell, you know, because you got to think about it. They don't have any pressure on them. Similar to how Atlanta Hawks had no pressure on them last year. No one expected them to do anything. So you could conceivably see a team like that go to the NBA Finals, possibly. You know, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but the Cavs suck. Well, how about 2 years ago, or even a year and a half ago? It sounded ridiculous that the Bucks could win a title. People just couldn't envision it until they saw it. So anyway, best wishes to the Cavaliers fans, man. Best wishes to Jarrett Allen. Maybe some miracle can occur. I doubt it. Um, a fractured finger that usually takes some time to, some time to come back from, and playing with a broken finger, man, that's not something these guys today are built for. Let me tell you something. A lot of people make fun of the players of the past, right? But you got to understand, some of those guys, a lot of those guys were built different. And by that I mean they may not have been athletic or as skilled as players of the past, players of today. Um, but these were guys that fought in the toughest wars. These were guys that fought in World War II, and they saw a lot of fucked up shit that we couldn't imagine. Fought in the Korean War, right? These were GIs and Marines. These were guys that had to deal with the toughest conditions imaginable. These were, players who had to deal with Jim Crow and deal with some of the most abominable conditions and poverty imaginable. These were toughened individuals. So, to play with a broken finger, they could deal with that type of physical pain because they had to deal with so much emotional pain and so much traumatic pain. It's hard for me to to explain this shit to a lot of younger people, man. That's why I have so much respect for those people in the past, players of the past. They may not have been as skilled, but their will was indomitable. And at the end of the day, man, that's why I get irritated when people say such and such could go in the past and just dominate. They don't understand how the NBA was played back in that time period, the late 50s and early 60s. They don't quite get that back then. If you drove to the basket, a motherfucker will knock you on your fucking ass, elbow you in your fucking mouth, and the worst that'll happen to him is maybe $1,000 fine. And that's every time you drive to the basket. You don't see too many guys in highlights dunking on people in the 60s, driving on people. You might see it every now and then, very rarely. That's why those guys always pull up for them damn jump shots because they knew the penalty for consistently going into the lane in the era of the Giants. But anyway, enough of that. Tell me what you guys think.